If you're watching this, then chances are you believed a lie, and it's a lie I believed for a long time. It's a lie that stops so many creative, smart people from stepping into their future and building their dream lifestyle business. Now, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you the way to approach life and business to make sure you don't believe this lie and you can actually scale into the dream business you have. Now, the lie is that business is hard. Look, business is tricky, difficult. Even times it can feel impossible, but the choice of whether it's hard or not ultimately comes down to you and the way you view business and challenges and problems. Like all good lies, there's some truth to it. I remember as a kid growing up in the 90s, watching way too much TV, as I'm sure you could relate to. Mum would come in often and banging on the door and saying, "Why are you watching TV? You're going to get square eyes." And I remember thinking, square eyes? Like what? Like obviously that's not true. Obviously it's a lie, but there's some truth to it. Watching TV, especially at a young age, terrible for your retinas and your eyesight. And, whilst the effects of watching TV too much, it's not that dire. It's probably not life-threatening. But the impact of you believing the lie that business is just always going to be hard really can impact your future, and certainly the amount of money you can make. See, in my career, I've done lots of different roles. I've been in sales, been in financial services. I run and still operate an e-commerce brand. I've been in agency work, helping clients build brands. And all along the way, if I'm honest with myself, I did view business as hard. When challenges came up, I thought, this is the way it's meant to be. I just need to hustle. I just need to grind and lock in more. And whilst there's nothing maybe on the surface wrong with that view, under the surface, I was believing that the only way to get to a successful business was through hard work. Now, I don't want to stop people from working hard at their business and wanting to have success and financial freedom. But if you only view business as being hard, when things are actually going well, you can sometimes self-sabotage and try and do things that inherently will make it harder for you. Equally, if you pick a business model that's hard from the start, you're just always going to be struggling and pushing that boulder uphill. See, if you look at business differently, if you view it as an opportunity potentially to build leverage and have a good life, have the lifestyle you always want, as well as make good money and serve and help people through your business. Now that changes things. You see, most freelancers, consultants and creatives, they don't have any leverage in their business. That's why it feels hard. It's because they're always trading their time for money. Now, that can be good to start with, to get your first few clients and first few sales. Of course, naturally, you're going to have to trade the asset you do have, time, for the asset you need, which is money, finances, capital. But there comes to a point where your calendar's fully booked and you don't have any time left. And your family or friends making plans you want to be a part of, but you can't because you have to build your business, right? Now, I do believe in sacrificing to begin with and the hustle and lock-in culture. But there has to be a point where you can build a leveraged business that actually works around your life, not replacing it and smashing it to pieces. So if leverage is the answer, how do we do it? Now, I'll tell you what leverage isn't. It isn't simply doing more. So many freelancers, consultants, and creatives just think they need to do more to build their business. And more is hard because you don't actually know what it is. Is more cold outreach, more emails, more content, more putting yourself out there, getting on podcasts. All that can work. But simply doing all of it and multiplying what you're already doing isn't necessarily going to give you what you want. What actually is important is to focus and do less. There's a book by Dan Sullivan called 10x is easier than 2x. It kind of explores this idea of the 80-20 rule. 80% of your results generally come from 20% of your activities. You see, that's not focusing on more and just expansion and growth. That's focusing on actually doing less, being really decisive and focused on what you're going to spend your time on so you can get the best outcome and the most leverage out of any situation. That's what I want for you, is to build leverage in your lifestyle business. As a freelancer, consultant, or creative, it's important that you actually find out what leverage is and what your 20% is to get you the best result you can. In my community, Freedom Founders, we explore 3 different areas to build leverage in your business. Now, the first one is a scalable offer. Think about it. If you're always trading your time for money, then if you did 10x, even overnight, that would probably just lead to anxiety, stress, and ultimately, maybe you just wanting to give up, because that added stress and pressure of more clients would probably break your business. Now, if that's the case for you and that feels familiar, then you don't have a scalable offer. You need something that you can detach your time from, so that regardless of how much time you can put into it, you can still expect results. Number 2 is having magnetic marketing. And what that means is not simply just posting 3 times a day, simply getting as many podcasts as you can for exposure, or just ramping up your ad spend. Those things are push energy. We want to create pull energy. The way to do that is to speak directly to your target customer. Find out their needs, wants, and pains, and speak only to those things. Next is to use the actual content. I actually have a system called the waterfall content system. It's demoralizing when you don't get as many views as you expected. Now, strategic content that leads to you having potential clients and prospects, that's the kind of content you want to make. So you want to automate the lead process from taking someone from a viewer to a lead to potential client. The third thing is to be oversubscribed in your market and always in demand. Now, that comes to a sales process that makes sure that people are already warmed up when they come into your sales ecosystem. It's also to have a 5-star prospect system where you take someone from potentially conversation in the DMs over email into a paying client in a way that makes them feel like you are solving the problem and you're going to give them an outcome that's going to serve them. Most freelancers hate sales. They feel like a sleazy car salesman every time they're on the phone or on a call or in the DMs. But really, you need to create a system that makes sure you are authentic to who you are, that you simply look at the pain and the gap that your prospect is experiencing and make sure that your solution is the right one for them, that you can actually give them results. If that's the case, then sales isn't sleazy. Sales is actually serving people and giving them the outcome they desire, and you are going to be the guide to help them get there. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, I need leverage in my business, I need a scalable offer that can 10x without me having to put more time into it, I need magnetic marketing that's going to bring the right people into my world, and it's going to warm them up, and then a sales system that's going to take them through my process and convert them on the other side so they feel great about it, and you can give out really amazing results for your prospects. If that's what you're looking for, then I encourage you, below in the description, there's a link that takes you to the Leverage Lifestyle Quiz. It only takes 5 minutes. That's going to show you if there's hidden leverage and income right now in your business that you can tap into. And if not, it's going to show you some ways to do that. And then if you would like to have a conversation on the other side, need some help implementing it all, then you can have a chat with myself and see if Freedom Founders is the right place for you to grow your lifestyle business to $15,000 a month and really start to live that identity shift from freelancer to founder. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.